nice.
Yo, what it do? Is your girl Snapper, and today we gonna talk about after birth and postpartum. After birth, it was like I got home, and my baby's still in the NICU, and it's like, damn, I be missing her, and it's like I feel bad if I don't go see her every day. It was a point where I was going like 2 times a day, or I was like always there all day. And my boyfriend had to tell me, like, you need to take some time for yourself. And I'm like, I do, but I feel guilty if I don't go see her. So then I started, like, going less to try to, like, relax. I will go. I feel like sometimes overboard, like, oh, I have to go give her blankets. I have to go drop off milk. I have to do this. I have to. And I feel like if I didn't, like, I would be like, would the nurses be like, why her mom is not here? Like, it was always like a guiltiness, or like, I don't know how to explain it, but yeah. And then I'm Haitian, so I did the afterbirth bath. I'm sorry about my dog. Ever since I had a baby, he's just been a little jealous, and he's not feeling a lot of things right now. Come here. He doesn't want to be seen. But yeah, so I did the afterbirth bath, which consists of a lot of like herbs, and then you use like the Haitians call it Joran C. It's like, I don't know how to describe it, but it's in the orange family, and you're supposed to like get your body beaten with it, and it's supposed to help tighten up things and help like clean out your body. Usually it's done by your grandmother, but in my case, both of my grandparents, they're still alive, but I just feel like I let my mom do it because they're older. They probably don't have the same strength they had from when my parents was younger. But yeah. So I did that. That is a 3 day. It's like a 3 day cleanse. You have to do it for 3 days. The water has to be like steaming hot, and you put it in the tub, and then you like soak in it, and then they'll beat your body with the herbs and the orange. And then you have to stay covered up after you do that, because if you're not covered up, you would like get very sick, because like your pores are open. So you have to remain covered. So yeah, you have to stay out of like rainy weather and all that. So every time the weather would change, my grandma would call my mom, like, is Dominique home? Blah, blah, blah. And yeah, being in the Haitian family after you have a baby, I could say it's a lot, because everybody's calling. Everybody's like, make sure you do this. Don't do that. Do this. Do that. It's like, give me time. Let me learn. Let me do my mistakes. I don't need everybody at one time telling me this, that. It's like, it became so overwhelming for me. It was at one point like I stopped answering phone calls, because I'm like, it's too much. Like, I'm a new mom. Give me time. And let's see. Well, your first postpartum period, it's like you're swimming in a freaking tsunami of, but yeah, it's like super heavy. And sometimes they still give you like the afterbirth pads. They're really good to use. And then now let's get into the postpartum. Oh my God. So my postpartum, it started because I was in the hospital like 2 months before birth. So I was there for a while. So I started getting sad, like, oh, um, I don't like the way like my pregnancy ended. I didn't have my baby shower yet. I didn't take my maternity photos. Like, I'm not gonna have a belly to do any of these things. And I'm like, I just wanted the end of my pregnancy to be like happy. I was in the hospital. I was miserable. I couldn't have no gas, no family, nothing. And it's like, when you have a baby, everybody wants their mom there. It's like my mom, kept calling me on video, and I'm like, oh my God, this is making me so sad because I want my mom there. And then my boyfriend couldn't come to the hospital unless I was in labor. So I'm like, damn, like I'm spending the end of my pregnancy miserable. The room I was in had no like the view, you couldn't see nothing. Then at the end of the pregnancy, they switched me to another room where you could see half of the entrance of the hospital. And I'm like, oh, I can't believe I'm going through this right now. I try to look at the positive when I think back on it. Like maybe God knew I needed, like me and her dad needed her earlier. And then, yeah, so I started to get sad. Then when I went to see her in the NICU, it's like my first time seeing her, I'm like, oh my God, I'm a mom. And then I just stared at her with no words, no emotion, no nothing. I'm just like, I'm a mom. And then, so I'm like, I don't know how to describe it. Like, I didn't feel no connection at first. And I'm like, so I left it alone. I'm like, maybe I was just a whole bunch at once. So then I'm like, maybe it'll go away. So then one day I was at the NICU and she was crying, and I gave her pacifier, rubbed her, and she just wouldn't stop crying. So I started crying, like, and I didn't, like, I felt like I'm her mom. Why can't I help her not cry? And my boyfriend, he was very supportive. He's like, she's a baby. She's going to cry. But my mental was like telling me like, oh, you're her mom. You suck. You can't help her stop crying. She's crying and there's nothing you did or can do to help her stop crying. So that like kind of made me sad. And then the day she was leaving the hospital, I mean, she didn't leave yet. She's still in there. The day I was discharged from the hospital, I was like, okay, I'm good. But as soon as we got downstairs and we were about to drive off, I started like boo-hoo crying because I felt like, damn, I'm going home and my baby is still in the hospital. And I told my boyfriend, like, when she was in my stomach, I could protect her because she's with me all the time. But now I'm home and she's in a NICU. That made me feel so guilty, like I didn't know what to do. So when I got home, I was like crying every day. I was like, I will like lay in bed all day. I don't want to talk to nobody. Like, I don't want, just leave me alone. Like, I'm crying nonstop. I'm sad all the time. So I'm like, I feel like this is getting worse, and it got worse over time. Like, I said some things that when I think back on it, it makes me so sad because I'm like, that's not the type of person I am for me to be saying these things about like motherhood and all that. And I'm like, this is hard, man. And it was like when I gave birth, the hospital, they had gave me a whole bunch of information about postpartum depression. So I'm like, like, I think I'm gonna reach out to them. So they asking me questions, and the lady's like, oh yeah, it sounds like most definitely you have postpartum depression. And I'm like, ugh. When I tell you postpartum depression, I don't wish it on my worst enemy. It's like your mind plays tricks on you. You sad. No matter what you do or what anybody tells you, you just sad. Like, I always woke up and I felt like a heaviness over me. And I'm like, I can't live like this. It was just like I tried remedies like smoking lavender, chamomile. I took these mood pills, and it's like some days it worked, some days it won't. Like, I could just be normal chilling, talking to my boyfriend, and I start crying. Like, I'm thinking about the future. I'm like, I'm scared about this. I hope she's good. I don't want no harm to her. I have to protect her. And I could say that now I'm at a way better place with the help of my oh, you know what? It was one, like a few week, like about a few week and a half ago. I was like organizing her stuff in like a cube organizer, and the whole thing collapsed. And I mean, I was working on it for a certain time. The whole thing collapsed. So it like, this is the day I snapped. Like, I destroyed my entire room. Like, I threw everything. I didn't care. Like, I took the whole room and I destroyed it. My arm was swollen because I kind of, I wouldn't say, well, I threw myself on the floor as I was throwing everything. Like, I took everything like this and I kind of rushed it towards the wall. And I just laid on the floor and I cried for like 20 something minutes. I felt defeated. Like, my mind is literally eating me alive. And I just laid there, and my cousin was here, well, after, and my sister and my boyfriend, and everybody's like, trying to help me. My boyfriend trying to help me like mentally. My cousin, she helped me like put everything back together. And I think that was the day I was like, I can't live like this no more. I have to fight this postpartum. I have to fight this postpartum. No matter how hard I have to go, I gotta get rid of this. Because it's like, I have the family I always wanted. I have the baby I always wanted. And it's like, I can't enjoy it because of this depression. Why am I depressed? I don't know. My dad asked me, my mom, I don't know. My boyfriend asked me, I don't know why I'm like this. I don't know. And then what it was. Yeah, so that was the day I'm like, I can't do this no more. It's like, I need to fight. I need to fight for myself and for my baby and my family that I just created. So I started like going hard, like praying. I craft on the side, so I started crafting. I would like listen to vibration music that helps with mood. Like, I'm talking about, I was on it. And I could say now I'm good. I'm not sad anymore. I look at the brighter side of things. Like, I have a family like I always wanted. My favorite holiday is coming up, Christmas. And I get to be a mom with an amazing boyfriend. So I'm like, there's people out here who don't have that and they want it, and I have it, and it's like the depression is not letting me enjoy it. So I'm like, forget that, because I'm tired. And I decided I am not going to let postpartum get me. It's not going to control my life. It's not for the... I looked at postpartum in the face, I chewed it, and I spit it out, and I stomped on it, because I am delivered. Don't mind my broken nail. I've been through a lot. But yeah, so, if you got postpartum depression, I would say don't be afraid to talk to nobody. Don't be afraid to express how you feel. Because what I try to do is like keep it to myself. And then I'm like, I have to let my family know. Like, I have to let it out. And definitely seek help. I personally didn't want to take no medication because I feel like it makes you worse before you get better. But to each his own. But you just gotta fight through it, man. Don't lay down all day. That's number one. Because when I laid down all day, I was in my thoughts even more, and it was eating me even more. Like, try to be active, go running, watch a funny movie, talk to somebody, like hang out with somebody, pray. Like, you got this, man. I'm seeing a lot of people, a lot of like moms kill themselves because of this, and I was like, I can't be one of them. I felt like I was almost there. Like, I felt like I was almost at that point, and I'm like, my baby needs me. Like, come on, Dominique, you got to get it together. And that's exactly what I did. So please, if you need help, go and get it. Don't suffer in your own mind, okay? God is good all the time. And if you don't believe in God, you know, there's other things you can do. All right, thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, and share, because we are out of here.
All right, and look at this. Girl, how you get sparkles in a bag?